I never thought I'd find myself standing in my own kitchen, staring at my coffee cup, trying to convince myself that I wasn't overreacting. My name's Darren. I'm 38, and I've been married to Clara for almost 10 years. When we first met, she had this energy that lit up the room. Smart, witty, magnetic. I was quieter, more grounded, had my own carpentry business, always focused on keeping my life together. She loved that about me. She said I was steady, reliable, solid. Those were the qualities that drew her in, and I guess I drew her in with my calm and consistency. The first few years of our marriage were everything I had hoped for. Love, laughter, long conversations that lasted into the early hours, weekends where we'd drive to nowhere just to feel like we were escaping together. I'll admit, it wasn't perfect. No marriage ever is. But I never doubted our connection. Until now. It started small. Little things, almost invisible. She'd laugh a little less at my jokes. Not because they were bad, just like her attention was elsewhere. When I tried to hold her hand in the car, she'd pull hers away softly, apologetically. I chalked it up to stress, maybe exhaustion from work. She teaches high school, and I knew her days were long. I tried to be patient. I thought if I gave her space, if I kept showing love, things would come back around. But they didn't. Then came last Thursday. She was scrolling through her phone in the living room while I washed dishes, humming some old jazz tune. I noticed a notification pop up on her phone from TikTok, one of those silly duet challenges. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw her open it, and my stomach sank. Her best friend, Callum, appeared on the video. Clara laughed softly, leaned in, and kissed him right on the cheek for the camera. Just a playful, quick kiss, but I felt my chest tighten like a fist had been wrapped around it. I didn't move at first. I wanted to believe it was harmless, maybe just part of the joke. I asked her about it later that evening. Clara, what was that? I tried to keep my voice neutral, calm, steady. She glanced up from her phone, eyes wide, almost shocked. Then she smiled, the kind of smile that somehow made everything worse. Oh, that? Just a joke, Darren. Don't be so sensitive. Don't be so sensitive. The words echoed in my mind over and over. Don't be so sensitive. As if my feelings were optional, irrelevant, laughable. I wanted to argue, to shout, to demand that she understand how that made me feel, but I didn't. I couldn't. I just nodded, forced a smile, and went to bed feeling smaller than I had in years. Sleep didn't come easy. I kept replaying the kiss in my head, the way her lips had brushed his cheek, the way her eyes had sparkled at him, but not at me. I remembered the first time she kissed me, the way she held me afterward, the way I had felt like the luckiest man alive. And now, that warmth had been replaced by this cold emptiness. Over the next few days, I tried to pretend like nothing had happened. I made her coffee in the morning, packed her lunch, asked about her day. I even laughed at her jokes, carefully keeping the conversation light and easy. But each time I looked at her, that little voice in my head whispered, does she even care about me anymore? Friday night, I decided to confront it head-on. We were sitting on the couch, the room dimly lit, a faint hum from the city outside. I looked at her, really looked, and asked, Clara, do you even want to be with me? She froze for a second, just a second, and then her expression softened, almost pitying. Darren, I don't know what you want me to say. It's just a joke. It wasn't serious. It wasn't serious. Her words felt like a punch. Not because of the kiss, but because of the disregard, the casual dismissal of my emotions. I had been quiet, patient, loyal. I had poured my heart into this marriage, believing that love meant effort, understanding, compromise. But in that moment, I realized something crucial. It wasn't just about me being sensitive. It was about being invisible in my own home, unvalued, unacknowledged. The next few hours were quiet, but the silence between us was deafening. I wandered into the bedroom and sat on the edge of the bed, staring at the floor. My mind was spinning, not with anger, but with clarity. I didn't want to scream. I didn't want to cry. I wanted to reclaim myself. I wanted to make space for my dignity. By Saturday morning, I had made my decision. Not in a rage, not in anger, but in still, deliberate thought. I packed a bag, just clothes, my laptop, a few personal items. Nothing extravagant, nothing dramatic. I didn't want to stage a scene. I wanted to leave with quiet certainty. As I walked into the living room to tell her I was leaving, she looked up from her phone again, expecting maybe a fight, a tearful explanation, or an argument. I just said, calmly, I need some time. I'm leaving for a while. She frowned, confused. Leaving? For what? I met her eyes evenly, without shouting, without pleading. For myself. I've been invisible too long. She opened her mouth, then closed it. She didn't argue. She didn't beg. She just looked at me, and I felt that silent acknowledgement that perhaps she hadn't realized the weight of her actions until now. I stepped out of the apartment, into the morning air, and for the first time in days, I felt a strange mix of fear and freedom. My hands were steady, my breath calm, but my mind was alive in a way it hadn't been in years. I wasn't running from her. I was running toward clarity, toward respect for myself, toward a life where my feelings mattered. Over the next week, we didn't speak much. I stayed at my friend Eamon's place a few blocks away. We went for walks. I helped him with a few carpentry jobs, and slowly, the pressure in my chest eased. I realized that staying in a situation where my feelings were dismissed, where my presence was secondary, wasn't love. It was slow emotional erosion, and I had been the one doing all the repairing while she had been indifferent. By the second week, Clara reached out, cautiously, over text. She apologized in her own way, claiming she hadn't meant to hurt me. But the apology didn't fix the years of neglect, the casual disregard, the moments when my heart had quietly broken a little more each time she laughed at someone else, leaned in for someone else, or said my feelings were silly. I didn't respond right away. I needed to feel the weight of my decision, the freedom that came with finally putting myself first. It was bitter, yes, but it was honest. And honesty felt better than any joke, any casual kiss, any dismissive comment could ever feel. I didn't leave because I stopped loving her. I left because I realized that being dismissed, minimized, laughed at, and made to feel invisible wasn't love. And no one, not even the person you married, should get to take that from you without consequence. As I sit here now, writing this, I feel something I haven't felt in a long time, a quiet, steady peace. A weight lifted, a clarity gained. I know that in life, some lessons are taught gently, others harshly. This one hit hard, but it also reminded me that respect, for yourself first, is the foundation of any relationship. And maybe one day, Clara and I will have a conversation that actually matters. But for now, I'm choosing myself, and for the first time in a long time, I feel whole.